Well, Helene is now post-tropical, still causing some big headaches across parts of the U.S., including some flooding, and there'll be a lot of cleanup in the months and perhaps years ahead from some significant surge, wind, and tornado damage, all caused by this historic storm that made landfall Thursday evening along Florida's Gulf Coast. But we are still tracking systems out there, a couple of named storms, and a few other areas of interest. I'm actually going to begin with the area in the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. This may look familiar, as this was the area where we initially saw Helene form, but the National Hurricane Center believes that another area of low pressure will likely form in this region sometime by the middle of next week. And a lot of our forecast models suggest that once something starts to form in the Caribbean, it'll likely take a track towards the southern Gulf of Mexico. And just as it was the case when Helene was trying to form around this time, there's just way too much uncertainty. Nothing has formed yet, but at least a lot of our models are suggesting something here. Now, some of the early indications are that whatever would form may not be quite as strong as what we saw Helene become, but again, nothing you have to worry about in the short term. But by the middle of next week, we'll have to be paying very close attention to perhaps another one of these systems coming off the Central American gyre forming in this region. Farther out into the Central Atlantic, we have another tropical wave. It's actually near the Cabo Verde Islands, and a lot of our models suggest that this will also develop into a named system, but every model that we've seen curves this off to the north. This will likely be a storm for the fish, as they say. A couple of other named storms that we actually have a very well-formed hurricane in the North Atlantic. This is Hurricane Isaac. Maximum winds of 85 miles per hour. This is from the 4 p.m. advisory on Friday. It is moving to the east, away from any noticeable land masses, and that is where its trek will continue as it moves into those colder waters of the North Atlantic. No threat to the U.S. Same situation with Joyce, a tropical storm looking a little healthier today, and it could strengthen a little bit more before it encounters high wind shear and weakens again. This one too will curve off into the North Atlantic. So here's where we are in the hurricane season. We have now checked off 10 names off of our list. The next 3 names up: Kirk, Leslie, and Milton. Of course, as always, we'll keep our eyes on all things tropical across the Atlantic Basin all the way into the end of hurricane season, which is November 30th.